We've actually had more and more economists, believe it or not, coming out and saying that we shouldn't be worried about our national debt, which, as you probably know, if you've been watching us, recently topped $22 trillion. Convention of States Action President Mark Meckler joins us now. And the Journal had a big piece about this, Mark, where you get these economists come out and say, in the current environment, your rates are low and all the rest of it, that, you know, as high as that number sounds, I guess the argument is we have some space. Don't worry. What do you say?
Well, we may have space at the moment, but what can't continue won't continue. And if you dig into that article, you'll see even they're saying over the long term this might be dangerous. I think the thing to watch right now is the bid to cover ratio on Treasury bonds, and it's at the lowest point it's been at in 10 years. That's an indication of a shaky market, and I think these economists would do well to kind of rein in those opinions.
That's interesting because the overall numbers that, you know, whether it's that article or other interviews with economists, they'll just say, well, the interest rate on a government bond is relatively low, and if we were so worried about debt deficits, it would shoot up. And you're saying it's just a little bit more complicated than that.
Well, I think it's really important if you look at every time we have economic troubles, it is foreshadowed by this lower bid to cover ratio, less people bidding on these treasuries that are coming up. And as those bids go down, as we get less and less people bidding, the interest rates necessarily have to go up. That's just how a market functions.
Right. So it's just a matter of timing, right? The space between when that interest kind of goes down, the interest in the treasuries goes down, and then the interest rate goes up. So so technically maybe their argument is correct that we have the space. It's just a matter of how much space.
Yeah, look, we never know how much space. What we do know is that no nation has ever climbed out, ever, from the hole that we're in right now. They're not talking about 140 trillion in unfunded liabilities. They're talking about current debt, 22 trillion in current debt. We also have a problem of current debt or deficit on an annualized basis. We're going to be over $1 trillion this year. This administration imposing more debt on the country per year than either Bush or Obama.
Crazy.
I think we ought to be looking forward to the travesty to come.
Yeah, we say if Bezos can't write a check to get us out of it, then it must be the number's just too big, right? So maybe that's the rule of thumb we should use instead of, it's a little simpler than bid to cover and stuff.
Well, and if you look at the entire value of the Fortune 500 doesn't cover our annual deficit right now, that's a serious problem.
That's an even better one. Okay, Mark, good to talk to you. We'll keep talking about it, and maybe people will start caring. Mark Meckler.
Go to conventionofstates.com. Press the button, sign the petition. More importantly, get 10 of your friends to do the same. When you sign the petition, then that sends a letter to your state legislator. You go on the list in their district as a supporter. We deliver those lists to the state legislators. It means something to them.